Right, let's just start dragging these out. Right, first one. Dungeon design philosophy needs to be changed. What? That's a very rough start. Okay, you got my attention. Dungeons have been lackluster for years. They all have the same formula. Only difference is the environment with almost no personality to it except the tiny little extra called music. That's not exactly true. Now, I'm not trying to say make it harder. What I'm trying to say is make it interesting, fun, and engaging. Make it an adventure and not just brain dead daily chore for rewards. How? In my humble opinion, ARR and some Heaven Sword dungeons could be the best if only most of your abilities weren't locked and Echo Eye level isn't trivializing it into a meme category. Let me talk about the things these two old expansions did well. Okay. Mobs feel in their right place. Ambador Keep, for example, has Dullahan patrolling hallways and big yards. Statues come to life. Succubus throws big AoE from a distance. They add flavor to the dungeon. In contrast to the newer dungeons, they're just there. That's not really like a good example. You're just bringing like example from older dungeons, but not like any comparison. Not really any comparison. Because some of the, like, one of the latest dungeons, the one with the ghost ones, what is it called? One of the level 100 ones, the two latest one of the two last ones. One is like in Peru, the other one is like in the ghost town. The one in ghost town has this kind of like environment and different mobs. You find animals possessed by ghosts. You have this like, you know, entire merry-go-round, not merry-go-round, what are they called? Are they called merry-go-round? Or Orion's belt. You got like all these attractions falling down on you while you're trying to go through. They are improving on this formula. If you're just gonna want, if you just want variety of ads, it's I'd probably go against that. It's like you're gonna be doing these dungeons only so many times. And at some point, you're not going to be doing these dungeons at all, unless you're just dropping there for leveling roulette. Another thing that is that the mobs are huge in numbers for zero reason. Nothing special happens except every 15 seconds a random mob will pull out a cone AoE that a level 10 crab and Lanosha can do. I'm advocating for less mobs with 1-2 more abilities in their disposal than disguise striking dummies that auto attacks back with occasional AoE. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, some of these things need to also make sense. Because they gotta make sense. Like, for example, I currently did Vanguard. There were a bunch of parts where there was just a lot of mobs. Which is fair, because it's a, you know, secure facility with a lot of, like, security guards reacting to a threat. That makes sense. In some dungeons, it's actually few mobs. Because I feel like I don't know. Like, I'm not getting this. You're, like, comparing things to older dungeons, but you're not doing any backward comparison from older dungeons to the current ones. I'm not hearing, like, examples at the moment. Because, like, the moment you're saying some of these things, I'm already kind of disagreeing. Immediately, just because, like, I just did, like, dailies, and I already had a different experience than what you're describing. Maybe that's just me. Straightforward Deadwalk. Yeah, that's the one. There's literally a giant-ass turtle in one dungeon, and that isn't unique. I know. You know. A giant-ass turtle is not unique, I guess. To be honest, leveling dungeons feel awful to me because there's a lot of two big mobs trash pulls, which I hate. I know what you mean. It's like Deadwalk. There's like, at the very end, you know, you pick two big mobs and a bunch of small ones. But it's like, what is the variety people want? There needs to be some examples. Like, are we talking World of Warcraft route? Where, like, all the mobs are so fucking unique that if you pull out an extra one, it's gonna change the entire, you know, current combat situation because of that one mob with the extra abilities. Bosses in old dungeons were unique and some had a gimmick to deal with. Now it's all the same, one AoE, one tank buster, one telegraph basic mechanic, and just a single unique mechanic. That's already a lot more than the older ones. What do you mean? That's not bad, by the way. It's just the repetition cycle that kills the fun out of it. I'll give an example for the first final boss of Tamtara. The boss doesn't give much except that it summons trash mobs to protect him, yeah? Now the key here is that As the time goes, he summons more trash mobs, which adds more tension to it. It's so simple, yet works so well. TLDR of this is instead of using same basic mechanics, why not add more to that one unique mechanic along the way? How? Again, I'm not hearing a how. Like, this kind of feedback is just only gonna, like, lay very flat, unless people start offering options. Like, this is how you use forums. You need to provide at least an example, and if people kind of support your example or like your way of thinking, otherwise it's just going to be a conversation between, like, you know, flat opinioners. Regarding the boss arena, like what do you want from the bosses? I'm very confused. The bosses cannot have more than like 2-3 mechanics to begin with, especially in the dungeon. Because you gotta remember it, because like it's not just the hardcore players that want unique, amazing mechanics. It's also the newer players that, and you also need to keep in mind that these dungeons are like, compared to some of the raid instances, the dungeons are gonna be irrelevant a lot faster, way faster than anything else, way fucking faster. Regarding the boss arena, I don't know what's the fixation about square and circular arenas. Wait, what the fuck? It's way too bland and inconvenient. What's inconvenient about a square or a circular arena? What are you talking about? Wait, hold on. Here's where ARR bosses shine. The prime example for this would be the Doom Wall. Such a cool arena for a boss that has 2 abilities and get demolished before establishing any threat. The Doom Wall? You mean like the big like wall bosses that turn into trash minions in Shadowbringer? You mean those ones? Where you gotta go around it, it spins around, does some mechanics. It's like, no, they use it several times and people aren't exactly remembering them fondly. They're not really interesting, at least not to me, I guess. Such a cool, it has only 2 to get them. Another example would be the Arm Veil last boss, the poisonous puddles and how you need to eat herbs. That's not just a... No. The first boss also does this fucking mechanic, and it's stupid. It just forces you to do mechanic by just applying debuffs. Do an extra action because we applied a debuff. It's not even a combat. It's not even a raid one. Stand in a specific, like, match colors, for example, like in Sophia. That would be a cool mechanic. Or anything else. Why are you eating random fruit off the ground because you get poisoned? I feel like no. I don't like this mechanic. I don't like it. It's stupid. It's like the same thing as like if you're advocating for that one mechanic from what is that dungeon from Shadowbringers? The one there where the boss is like a plant, and you have to carry these fucking nuts off the grass, otherwise you're gonna get mobs. People did not like that. The moment like the whole dynamic of between you fighting a dungeon boss gets interrupted by you having to pick up flowers, you have to pick up nuts and carry them because wind is too strong. It's like, what? No, I'm good, fam. You can do the gardening mechanics in your own time. I would like to some combat mechanics instead. Like, I see your point, but like the way you're presenting is that it's not in any way that I agree with. Exploring and progression in the old dungeons are rewarding, even though it isn't much. How is it rewarding? I'm thinking up like the old dungeon. I'm not remembering like rewards for exploring the dungeons. The very first one, like level like 16, maybe like around 20 level, maybe you would explore, you get an extra item because there's like a chest somewhere. But like later on, people just start fucking ignoring them because they're just gonna mid-max in the fucking dungeon and just run through it. Unless there's a new player, and then we just let them explore. Ooh, there's a note, read it. What color does it say? Ooh, we gotta touch the green tree. The green coral, sorry. It's like, exploration needs to be, like, unless they're gonna turn Criterion, sorry, not Criterion, but the variant dungeon into a daily roulette. I disagree with this. I really do. Like, it shouldn't be rewarding. Like, unless we're gonna start going the World of Warcraft route. Because the moment you're gonna add more space for exploration, that means you gotta add more variety of mobs. That means it's a lot more work just for a leveling fucking dungeon that's gonna be irrelevant fairly quickly. Nah, enjoy the story. The Grand Cosmos, yeah, that's the one. It's just that you go out of your way for the extra treasure coffers, you solve puzzles, avoid traps, you collect some little lore around and engage with the environment around you. Now, I mean, you still do it. There's still lore. Have you? Endwalker and Shadowbringers had these dungeons. Right now, it's still too soon to talk about the dungeons, but like you still get lore reasons. Like like me and Now did when Now did the. I'm gonna be looking up these dungeons now. Tender Valley. When me and Now were doing Tender Valley, Now was picking up all these like little lore bits, like little notes, like, exploring like the environment. It's me, I'm Now. Yeah, it's you Now. Yeah, it's like not much has changed other than like the dungeons are a bit more compact and less reasons for people to get lost. And I know the dungeon that people are immediately comes to people's mind where they have to run around, pick up fucking lamp oil or fucking shit off the walls just to open the way forward. Doing that like for the first impression, sure, like maybe it's gonna be an exciting experience, but like because people do these dungeons specifically for leveling or just, you know, for tombstones, it's gonna get old very quickly if you add exploration like this. Now you completely linear path filled with mobs and walls, let alone how convenient the path layout for the mighty warrior of light. I mean, look, not much has changed. You still had to go the right way. You explore, you got an extra coffer. Who gives a shit? You get extra coffers right now. You just have to waste less time. Believe it or not, the path was linear even then. There was no different way to get to the boss, was there? You're still getting from point A to point B. It just depends how much time you wanted to waste on this. Wondrous Palace, London Simulator. Exactly, you have to pick up fucking lamp oil without getting stabbed by a local. Too much yapping, but it had to be said. I respect your opinion. I see, like, where this is coming from, but I see your point. I just don't like the way you're presenting it. It's just, like, it's not... You're presenting the argument of previous dungeons in comparison, but you're just presenting the factor of the current dungeons by just mocking it without actually offering the feedback. And by the sound of it, you haven't actually delved into the dungeons, because like I'm doing the dungeons, they're fairly fresh for me. They're still new. The mechanics are a lot more interesting. People even complain that some of the mechanics are too hard for them, but like the mechanics are very interesting for me. They're for a dungeon that's supposed to be available to everyone. Even the high-end raiders are enjoying. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It just sounds like you're just being a negative Nancy for the sake of being negative, honestly. As long as I'm not forced to pick up keys and get asked if I want to use them every time, sure. See what I mean? Just curious, have you not played Dawntrail yet? These new dungeons are a step above anything we've had for the 3 whole expansions. I completely disagree. All they gave was just... bosses more mechanics with tighter tuning. It is still a boring trek through trash mobs. So were the previous dungeons. What are we talking about here? And then once you have the boss down, it's the same repetition, and it made it much less enjoyable for me. I was not ready for this level of skill requirement. I was not ready for this level of skill requirement in MSQ? What? And I found it very frustrating and unenjoyable. So for me, they failed on both accounts. It is still boring and it is frustrating. Honestly, it just sounds like a skill issue. Especially when you're dressed like that. Agreed, especially for trust. Who fucking... Okay, I'm very confused about these people. I get it, you have an opinion on some of these things. But... who does dungeons or trusts for fun? Who does this? Whatever. Oh well, in either case, it's like, I see the point this person is trying to make, but I just don't agree with the way it's presented. It just feels... I don't know, it just feels very petty and very me. You know what I mean? Like, I respect this opinion, but it's just, I don't really care much for it. The frustration with the dungeon design, it's like, how much fun do you want to have in a dungeon? Most of the time, people, like, the first time we go through a dungeon, yeah, fun, exciting, lore, some tidbits. We're gonna read these things. Ooh, what fun mechanics. Like, obviously, not every boss is gonna be, you know, a hit. Some bosses are definitely a miss. But at the end of the day, now that I've done these dungeons over 100 times, I would like them to go a bit faster. I want them to be a bit more simpler. I don't want to explore. Unless there's a new player. The new player can take their time with me. But, like, if it's 4 people that already done the dungeons and we're there just for the tomes, fucking straight line, please. We don't need extra exploration. How do you expect dungeons to be more interesting and easier? Exactly. It's like, how do you want to make these dungeons so fascinating, explorable, so much lore, so much to discover, but also have simple mechanics? And it's like, you're not going to keep these people happy. Like, I don't know. Whatever. What's going to be our next one? Ooh, this is a counter. Feedback. Best expansion for encounters yet. I figure I'm going to make forum posts complaining about the things I don't like. It's only fair I post things about the things I do. Duntrail Dungeons and Trials have been some of my favorite normal difficulty content I've ran this game. Ooh, we're talking about raids. I love how the devs have taken the time to make mob pools. Oh no, this is actually dungeons too. To make mob pools more engaging, especially in 2 expert dungeons. Ooh. And figuring out the way first to solve mechanics, then how to maximize DPS while executing them has been a blast. It's the perfect level of difficulty, and it feels like the game is really trusting us to understand the language it's speaking. You know what? That is very well fucking phrased. Like, devs are finally trusting the players to not be shit. There are very few mechanics I found unfair. Deadwalk Boss 1, I'm looking at you. Although that's much more of an issue of pink, hitboxes being larger than they seem or anything. You could also just disconnect from the boss and just, you know, stop trying to... Like, the key to resolving that boss mechanic is literally just disconnect from the boss. Just disconnect from it. Play it safer for a bit. Even if we wipe multiple times to the same boss, the shortcut change let us hop right back in and help mitigate frustration. If this is what awaits us in the normal and Alliance Raid series, then I'm all for it. You know what? I like posts like these. Like, we definitely need a lot more of these, like, more positive posts, specifically about the game, and not just the negative ones. Because the devs are not gonna understand what the fuck people want. Because there's gotta be too many negative ones, and all these negative ones are either about, you know, the same points without voicing out solutions or options. They're not gonna understand what to fix. They will make changes, hoping it'll work, but this kind of feedback is really good. That way they know what does work. Making my first post to say I agree. Dungeon boss combat in this expansion is the best it's ever been. And I swapped off the high mobile summoner to the not so mobile Pictomancer. I love the dungeon fights being engaging and requiring some actual effort. They're not super hard, but they can be done while asleep. That is a very good point. Yeah, I like this post. I like this post. Just because it's specifically someone trying to offer positive feedback. Those are very rare these days. What the fuck? What is this? Even our content creators cannot pretend to like the trashy writings of Dawntrail. What the it's Zeppla. Are you kidding me? Are we actually... Oh, hold on. Hold on. Are we actually going to be listening to Zeppla? First comment, we don't claim turf apologist Zeppla. Yeah, Zeppla has been like doing a lot of things specifically for clicks. Either hopping on the negativity wagon or positivity wagon or whatever. It's like, so far Zeppla has not been like the best source of like of an impression of a... Wait, hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the fucking phone. These are just VOD. I swear she had an impression video. Dawntrail first impressions, no MSQ. Wait, hold on. What is your impression of then?
Having fun in Dawn.
Okay, let's see. What is she even talking about here? Pictomancer Viper, Pictobancer Viper, Pictoanswer leveling, graphics, general PSAs, my expectation chat, outro. Wait, this is her impression of Dawntrail? She hasn't completed MSQ and she posted a fucking 15-minute video about her impression of Dawntrail? Man, content creators sure are fucking hungry, aren't they? Are you seriously, like, out of content? Yeah, I don't think Zeppla should be, like... Where is she in the game, actually? Hold on. Zeppla... I don't think Dawntrail's story was that bad. It just wasn't for everyone. If you love Wook, I think this expansion is probably super fun. A story is like a hit or miss for a lot of people. It depends. Let's see. Where is she even in the story? Okay, obviously she's gonna react. She's reacting to Preach, obviously. Wait, hold on. Is this where she is right now?
You think it's stinky?
You think it's you think it's stinky? First fucking thing she says. Hold on.
Probably. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah! It has turned the fuck around, man! She's gonna go to work. Okay, so this guy outranks the other guy.
Okay, she's in Shalani. Am I getting this right? Is she still in Shalani? She's barely halfway through the game. Am I understanding this right? Yeah, she's still in Shalani. I recognize this quest. Level 95. She's... What the fuck is up with... Okay, and this is who we're listening to. This is where she is yesterday. This is yesterday's stream, by the way. This is who we're listening to right now. And this is who we're listening to. Okay, let's check what's her opinion.
I'm really glad I'm gonna have a break tomorrow. Because right now, this game is, like, unrecognizable to me. I just cannot believe this is actually happening in the main story quest of Final Fantasy XIV. I can't believe this is happening. I'm shocked. Oh, Zepla, you're here too. The third promise said she wanted to chat. I've just finished eating, so shall we find a quiet spot outside? Are we not in one? Already. It's not quiet and emotional enough of a spot.
I feel like Zepp's just being a negative Nancy for just sake of being a negative Nancy. I get this is like almost 7 hours into the stream, but it's like, chill the fuck out. I feel like after scolding, she'd be more positive. I don't... Look, Zepp's just gonna be doing shit for clicks. It's like, we've already established and are convinced. It's like, I don't, like... I'm not giving Zeppla any more benefit of the doubt. She can do whatever the fuck she wants, but like in my eyes, she's like, I already figured out she's just a sellout. She's gonna be doing shit for clicks. And if she's this fucking, you know, if like all she said, hold on, all she said is like, I'm glad we're finally out of the whatever the fuck she said. Hold on, let's re-listen.
I'm really glad I'm gonna have a break tomorrow because right now this game is like unrecognizable to me.
You barely play the fucking game to begin with. You chill in fucking old Charlotte and react to content most of the time. You haven't cleared half the fucking game when you were complaining about it. What the fuck ever? What? Sure, let's check out the fucking. But like I feel like Zeppelin would have learned her fucking lesson at this point. Stop fucking swapping sides just for clicks. People are just gonna keep giving you shit, and then half a year later, she's gonna make another fucking video defending herself. I'm fighting against them haters. Those haters just wanna fucking, you know, they're disagreeing with me because they're haters. It's like, what the fuck ever, Zeppla. Wear a hat, I don't fucking care. To be fair, I don't think Zeppla is a great example. She seems to enjoy trashing the game for clicks. Nah, she's just acting like Asmongold. She learned it. Some seconds later, she's literally changing expressions or reading. It's just some kind of short span of over-exaggerated drama. What the fuck? With all due... Wait, hold on. With all due respect, she sang the praises of the game for ages in Heaven's Sword. She didn't play in Heaven's Sword, did she? I'm pretty sure she didn't. She came to the game just a bit earlier than me. She began to change her mind in Endwalker patch content and now Dawntrail, it seems. It seems a little unfair to write off someone who was formerly perfectly happy about the game to the point... Okay, no. Because Zeppla just has opinions for shits and giggles at this point. There are videos of people who were in Heaven's Sword and provided so many examples. Like Wesker, for example. He has an entire video reminiscing about Heaven's Sword and all the things that people did not fucking like in those days. There's like so many content creators that are gonna be more specific. She can like sing all the praises she wants, but it's like she also like she changed her mind in Endwalker patch content, but then she changed her mind again, backtracked some of the content, some of the stuff she talked about before Endwalker. She also tried to like write off the scolding she got from Yoshi P as a positive thing. Like in her own words, and I'm quoting her here. He thanked me for my video and told me that I've affected the development of the game, and we laughed about it. It's like, why do none of the other interviews say anything about that? Zeppla is like all over the place, and she seems to playing it up way too much at this point. I used to like Zeppel, but what the fuck is, like, she's all over the place now. She hasn't finished the fucking story. She's barely halfway through it. And almost 2 weeks ago, she already made a fucking Dawntrail impression. Her Dawntrail impression was her leveling Pictomancer and Viper. That's her fucking Dawntrail impression. What the fuck? What is she even complaining about, though? I have no fucking idea. Apparently, she doesn't like the story. And, like, most people are disagreeing with her because she doesn't do any fucking content. She doesn't have a first-hand impression. She just kind of builds it up off of, I don't know, fucking Twitter comments, I guess. And just sends that out. Has she even started raiding? Fuck no, she's level 95 story. She's in level 95. She's not through the story yet. And almost 2 weeks ago, she already made a fucking Dawntrail impression video. Fuck this. Zeppla had the largest viewership out of all the 14 streamers during launch. I know some... She didn't have the largest. that was Dino. I know some will argue people didn't do watch during launch. What the fuck is the sentence? I know some people will argue people didn't too watch during launch for story spoiler whatever. But Zeppla elected to level Pictomancer first, which was a smart decision. Are you gonna add anything to this? Why was leveling Pictomancer a smart decision? I feel like people wanted to watch her, you know, go through the Dawntrail fucking story and content and not level up. Why is this a smart decision? I don't know. She has also been consistently invited to various media events and is still one of the main faces of the game. Yeah, but so was Cole. So was Asmongold. Are we actually listening to these people? Who the fuck are we kidding? Who the fuck are we kidding? Those people are there for the numbers. Who are we actually fucking kidding here? Should I just, like, Asmongold fucking stop playing the game in Heavensward? He was fucking invited to the media tour. Let's fucking listen to this guy. Cole Evans fucking talks about his ex cheating on him with most of his videos. Fucking, let me get some of that fucking delicious opinion. Frosty fucking called me a fucking idiot for 2 weeks because I didn't accept his Black Mage friend into my Party Finder group. Are these the people we're listening to? I feel like you need to understand. It's like there's also multiple press people, like video game journalism people that were in the media tour as well. Are we literally picking up these, like, taking these people's opinions because they're the face of whatever the fuck, or because they were invited for the numbers? You need to understand, the media tour is a marketing strategy. These people aren't picked because, you know, why isn't Ash 10 fucking invited, you know, to check those cool Dawntrail crafting mechanics? He wasn't invited, was he? Drummer's going crazy. Nah, I'm not crazy. I just get... fucking stop! Chill the fuck out. I don't get why people listen to these people. Play the damn game for yourself and see. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, people also provide this fucking argument. See, Zeppla decided to level up Pictomancer for 2 weeks before starting to play the story. That was a smart decision. Why? And nobody fucking knows. He was also invited to these various media events. Nobody fucking gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Let's be honest, like, has Preach even released any of the, like, he released some interviews, but he didn't release, like, you know, Viper impression videos, did he? Or did he? Unless he did, then I'm gonna look fucking stupid. Bit of a funny thing about Cole back in Asphodels, he made a video asking for more healing tools. Then Dawntrail Media Tour happens, and he no longer wanted that tool. He also thinks we need to, gatekeep newer players. They need to go through a whole... Thank you for the follow. In Cole's opinion, players need to go through hoops of fire and tests before they're allowed into, I think, Party Fighter, or no. He wanted people to go through specific, like, testing instances or something like that before they're allowed in expert or some shit like that. Something really fucking weird. I remember I almost had a fucking aneurysm.
What the fuck?
God, that was loud. Thank you for the sub, Coco. I appreciate it. I think Zeppeli is very vindictive and has definitely fallen to the rage bait trend, but I have no doubt in my mind that she and many other content creators won't be satisfied with the expansion MSQ. To be fair, not a lot of people are. But we need to also remember that the story is subjective to people. Some people like horror, some people like detective. Like, again, I'm gonna keep repeating the same example in Endwalker. The post MSQ questline, you know, the four fiends, etc. Majority of people did not like it. Me? Fucking love that shit. Final Fantasy IV was my fucking peanut butter jam. I love that shit. All the references people didn't get, even in the raid instances. Fucking, I was eating that shit up. Mind Control Dragoon. That's a Kane references. Let's go. P11S best fight. Like, like, the story is not gonna define the entire expansion. Let's be honest. Like, the story was kind of shit. Half of it just didn't need to be there, but a lot of it I fucking liked. I shed a tear. I cried in some moments. Some of it was actually kind of good. Let's balance it out with a positive one. To Square, please keep going with the dungeon design. See? I like these posts. I like this. A bit of like positive reinforcement. You didn't have this shit in Endwalker, did we? Finally got the chance to experience expert dungeons and I love it. This is definitely a step up from previous game design. We have, without spoiling anything, persistent damage from mobs and packs, good. Environmental damage, I agree. Mechanics that require quick reading or reflexes, mechanics with small safe spots, punishment for misplays. All of these are absolutely fantastic and have needed to happen at least in the expert dungeons for years. Going through the... I actually agree with this. Like, the leveling dungeons, they don't need to be too hard. They should introduce a bit of difficulty. But all the fun shit should be in the expert dungeons, because these are the dungeons you're going to be doing multiple times. These are the dungeons you're going to be doing non-stop multiple times for tombstones, or just, you know, you're trying to cap out on the week, or you're farming for the minion or the glamour. You know, these are definitely something you're going to be doing non-stop. Going through the current extreme dungeon. I'm gonna assume he means trials. Makes me feel like I'm shaking off rust and decay on mental muscles that haven't been used since Heaven's Sword Stormblood. A lot of people actually have been comparing Extreme Trials to Stormblood. I kind of like that. Let people actually get good at the game through something that's a step above the difficulty of leveling dungeons. It isn't hard enough that you can't get through on a first try, but hard enough that if you don't know what you're doing, you will have to learn. I, for one, am all for expert roulette actually feeling like I have to have some knowledge of how to run dungeons and read mechanics. I think they're perfectly tuned to promote growth and learning of the game, and I'm delighted that this is the direction we're moving in. You know what? I like this. I really like this. I like this. Very much agreed. These dungeons in Dawntrail are a step above Endwalker in terms of respecting players' ability to fail and learn. I'm proud to say I bit the dust a few times in a handful of the bosses. Not only the expert dungeons, but also the leveling dungeons. That one trash pull in one of the level 100 dungeons with the constant environmental damage on everyone was a welcome surprise, and I'm hoping to see that kind of thing more often. Some of the bosses are still hit or miss, and I'll take just about anything that doesn't result in falling asleep at the keyboard. You know what? I like these posts. Yeah, do you know why I like these posts? Because that is like... there's always going to be negative posts, right? There's always going to be negativity, and some people are not going to like it. But if people are leaving, you know, good reviews, or saying good things just to support the new changes or dungeon design, I like that shit. Okay, a good example is, for example, restaurants. You know, let's say you had an experience at the restaurant. It is so fucking easy to be negative about a restaurant. The staff were mean, my glass was dirty, you know? When people start doing negative fucking... When you ask them why they don't like a place, it's always gonna be a fucking, you know, list that you need like 3 monitors just to read through, right? But when you ask, like, what's a place you like? Oh, it's this one. And it's always like very few things that they like, but it's just like, those things are enough for people to, you know, enjoy the place, you know? Somehow positivity is a lot fewer than negativity on a lot of like reviews or feedback. That's why like positive feedback is very important, because it's gonna be a bit more on the point. It's gonna be closer to... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's easier to find what people like than what people don't like. Because let's be honest, people don't like everything. People don't like fucking everything. But what people like, it's important to give that kind of feedback to the devs, so the devs know that they're doing something right and they need to improve. Specifically start improving on what people like, rather than what people don't like. You know what I mean? What people don't like, you can just get rid of it. But what people like, they want that, you know, to get better and better, to go in the same direction. Oh my god, there's so many posts. What the... Oh, I've seen this one. I think, Arthas reacted to this one? Dyslexic. I just read the person's name, dyslexic. Wait, hold on. Do you guys see this? Yeah, you guys see this. Dyslexic. Fuck. Okay, whatever. Difficulty on normal content. Is he gonna mean raids or dungeons, I wonder? I wanted to wait to see the raid tier before I say anything. There are already posts about dungeon and trial difficulty, and now normal raids should be thrown into the discussion too. Sure. I might repeat points already said, but I think we should really make a point of this. We, the people not okay with this difficulty, need for the devs to hear it to hopefully make a course correction. What? Okay. People who are not okay with this difficulty. This already screams fucking skill issue. I know this is mean to throw at people, that this is, like, skill issue, but, like, this is a game where the boss's whole fucking goal is to be defeated. There's no other options, there's no other stakes. Like, why are people so against improving? There's not gonna be anything worse from you just trying a bit harder and improving from the difficulty. Because some, like, majority of the people I raid with finds a lot of these mechanics very fucking easy. I don't know, like, there's, like, such a vast majority, like, I have so many friends that fucking love the mechanics. They find them easy, but they find them fun. But then there's also, like, this very loud, like, I don't want to say minority, because I don't know what's, like, the correct, like, amount of these people, but I've seen quite a few of them on Twitter as well. And they're just so fucking loud. This is not okay. This must be changed. Fix this right now. To be honest, you raid with one of the coolest Dark Knights. I don't know about that. They kind of need to be carried. The problem with the difficulty on normal fights, as I see it, is use and abuse of non-standard telegraphs. Good, fucking. What are you gonna be fucking Sleepy Raijin now? You want to stand still, let mechanic resolve shit? No, fucking non-standard telegraphs are good. It's variety. It's something new. It keeps you on your fucking toes. Nasty mechanic overlap, stuff you would see on extreme and harder fights. I mean, like, look, this already, again, this just screams skill issue. As mean as this sounds, like, nasty mechanic overlaps is the word he's using. But, like, what are the overlaps? What are you complaining about specifically? Because, like, so far, the rule is still the same. There's not going to be happening more than 2 mechanics at the same time. Sometimes 3. But 3 is, like, very rare, and it's specifically during, like, the more, like, the 2-minute windows specifically, just to encourage skill improvement. I don't know, it's like I would like to see some examples. What he's talking about? What is this person like specifically having trouble with? Mechs resolving too quickly for the mental capacity they demand to process. Again, like, have you considered just getting good? What do people have against improving, especially normal content? This is a good, perfect fucking opportunity. People have been complaining about no step up between like normal extremes or savage or like any in between, how to step up and enjoy higher difficulty. This is good. This is the game literally is encouraging you to improve, get better a bit. But if you're just gonna be like, nah, too hard. Nuh-uh, game too hard, therefore the devs are wrong. Whatever. Easiest way to make things easier, practice. Right? Right? I feel like the solution is very simple. It's like, have you tried doing the fights a few more times and getting used to them and improving? I feel like it's not that much. It's not that difficult. One too many catch this mechanics. What does this mean? What is it? Mechanics that have you running around like headless chickens evading seemingly random patterns. Oh, my friend. My friend. My friend. Okay, so in dungeons, you will have these random patterns. There will be some random patterns. They're introducing a lot more of them. Chad, do you want to know a secret? The game has had these random patterns in dungeons for ages. It's just this expansion, there's more of them, and they're a bit faster. So people think this is a difficulty increase in dungeons, right? Here's a secret about raids. Both normal and extreme. There are no random patterns. There are no random patterns. Everything has a set rule. Like, and if you're running like a headless chicken, you need to focus the fuck up and look at your surroundings. All this has been making fights in this expansion frustrating and exhausting. Again, have you considered just improving? The honeybee... Of course it's gonna be the honeybee fight. Though, to be fair, chat, let's not give this person too much shit. This is finally criticism for the honeybee fight that is the fucking music. The honeybee fight had me wishing for the healer to not raise me. I was there in the floor, dead for the 9th time, thinking that I don't really want to be in that duty. If you're the person that's dead for so many times on the floor, you need to, like, you have time while you're dead. Since you've been dead multiple times by the sound of this. You have time while you're dead. Look around. Look what other people are doing. Learn from the fucking mechanics. The mechanics are not that hard, especially for a second turn. Like, I legit want to know what this person is having trouble with. It's like, sir, if you have trouble, like, honestly, hop into my stream or sometimes just like, or find me on Twitter. I don't care. I will help you. I will not make fun of you, I promise. Just talk to me. Let me help you.
I'll be your queen bee, honey bee lovely. I'll be your one and only champion. I'll be your full-time royal. Worship me, love me again.
Well, yeah, it's like, if you're having trouble, talk to people. Because all of this just sounds like a refusal of you just wanting to learn anything. And it's not an issue of learning the fight, because that I can do. No, you can't if you die multiple times in a normal instance. But we don't do this content alone, you know? I think it was the 4th time I was doing Valigarmanda when I finally managed to finish without dying myself. But that's a moot point when half the party was dead half of the time. Even knowing the fight doesn't make it any less of a disheartening experience. Chad, if you've seen any of my streams, like, there's so many people that subbed in for my static, for example, because we were missing some people because of IRL responsibilities or whatever. Like, even yesterday, we brought a new person who is progging the first extreme and has never seen the second extreme. Who wants to guess how many pulls it took them to clear the first extreme and how many pulls it took them to clear the second extreme? And I promise you, this person was not getting carried. They were listening to callouts. I'm still working on the Discord, sorry about that. They were listening to callouts, and they just followed the callouts. Because the callouts were clean. That's it. All the mechanics are very simple in both of these fights. 7 on first, 6 on 2. Okay, so here's the answer, guys. First pull and clear on the first extreme. First pull and clear on the second. And they've never been in the second extreme. These fights are not... And that person is a more casual player than the rest of my group. They're fairly casual. They will literally raid for the glam reasons. They will literally raid so they can wear glamour. My first clear on the second extreme was literally like... me and Kita went into Party Finder, first pull and clear. People need to understand this is not a high-end raider thing. If you're willing to learn, and you've learned, this is not impossible. These fights are more hectic, yes, I agree. But the mechanics, once you figure them out, once you know, the rule of thumb for every mechanic, you're good. There's never going to be happening more than 2 mechanics at the same time. Sometimes 3, but it's usually the 2-minute window. I think discarding... And yes, this concerns normal raids too, even if they are optional content. Wait, aren't you talking about normal raids? What the fuck else are you talking about? You started talking about this concern... Okay. If, in fact, I gotta take the skip option for this raid tier, something I haven't done since I started playing in Stormblood. The raid tier has been out for how many days now? I think it's like... Today's Thursday, so it's been out for 2 days. This person already made had a fucking shit experience to the point that they're skipping a raid tier. What? Sir, how... What? What is going on in your life? And that's the point, really. For the most part, in the past 3 expansions, difficulty for normal content was fair outside of some hiccup here and there. What? The mechanics haven't really changed. My friend, you need to look at these mechanics. The mechanics haven't really changed. It's not something we haven't seen before. Like, this is a legitimate question. What are you having difficulty with? All the mechanics you've seen in these normal raids have happened in the normal raids in the previous fights. The breaking of the platforms, the AoEs, dodging the lines, they all happen in literally the previous expansion. Hell, half of these mechanics even happen in Shadowbringers. We're literally like, when people talk about the mechanics, they're literally talking about the previous expansion. Okay, this thing, okay, Barbaritse, we need to go in, we need to dodge, the line cleave. feel like you're making a whole opinion here out of fucking nothing. Like this whole post just comes down to me just like as it's a skill issue. You're not willing to improve. Why are you so adamant to practicing? I don't know. I firmly believe that the content meant to be done via the duty finder, where you don't choose who you're playing with, shouldn't be this level of punishing. It's not even that punishing though. And I know that JP people do Savage in the duty finder, but we don't do that in NA or U. For better or worse, Western players behave what the fuck? Don't behave like JP players. Yeah, that is true. Cultural difference is there, but it's like how people do in duty finder and not. It's irrelevant here. It's just this is normal raid for fuck's sake. We're talking about normal raids. Finally, I think that the people that thrive with difficulty, the ones that demand harder content, already have extreme, savage, and ultimate criterion dungeons and more. Okay. Yoshi P is even touting of savage alliances. This people is eating really, really good. Do they need to take normal content too? Can casual players have something easy-ish to play, please? No, because casual players have been complaining for the longest time that they wanted a higher step of content other than normal or extremes. Because even the casual players would like to improve. You know what? We may as well. Okay, okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Logs aren't working right now, right? Okay. Sir, what the actual shit? Okay, so I get it, you're a casual player, right? You got 15 total clears of the last rating tier. That's fine. 15 of the... You barely do normal rates to begin with. You're not improving. You don't get enough practice. Okay, 25th in the... 25 in the first one. I'm guessing you needed more pulls on the minion or something. Wait, these are all normals. This is the highest difficulty. You don't do savage. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Some people enjoy normal raids. I don't see why not, right? Okay, Golbazermus not done. Barbaricia done 5 times. You didn't do Endsinger. You're avoiding difficult content. You're not gonna improve it like at all. Like, not to put this person in blast, but it's like you need to have a more, like, to have like the opinion that you're trying to hold here. You need a bit more experience. Like, this is not me calling out, you know, casual players and whatnot. It's like... But it's like, if you want to have, like, specifically dictate the difficulty of content, especially because it's all optional fucking content to begin with. Like... like, I don't know. It's like, how are we actually complaining that content is too hard on the easiest difficulty? And the majority of the people are loving this content. This is like the first time, so many people are complaining about like the most menial shit. People are complaining about dungeons, leveling story, shit that's gonna be, you know, irrelevant. Like as soon as they're done leveling or done with the story, they're gonna be doing literally anything else. Normal raids, I've seen majority of people saying how good the fucking normal raids are. Even the casual players are happy that they're finally being taken a bit seriously. And you got people like this complaining that it's fucking too difficult? Normal raids have always been the bridging content between true casual content and extremes. That's why it's optional. That's true. Normal raids are designed to be tuned about as hard as the devs are willing to make content with a full pick-up group and no actual strat discussion. Also true. Endwalker was the outlier here, as besides P3, the rest of them are over-glorified trials rather than actual normal raids. P3, what was P3? Phoenix, right? Yeah, that's true. You know what, I can kind of see that. I like Phoenix, except for, you know, the eye burn. But otherwise, yeah. I feel you. You have a vocal minority to blame for the situation. It's the people that somehow don't play Savage but complain over and over that normal content is too easy. And now here we are. I think I saw somewhere someone dubbing that group the... What the fuck? Hardcore casuals. No, those are role players. But you agree that normal raids are casual, right? Because what I played today was not a casual difficulty at all. It's casual. What the fuck you mean? It's so fucking casual. It's such obvious fucking... Such obvious me. I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I haven't done content casually for too long, maybe. No, that's bullshit. I mean, like, I do content casually constantly. What do you mean? What the fuck ever? Hold on. I haven't yet done the new raids, but the telegraphs in Dawntrail are actually quite good. The last time I saw a non-standard telegraph would have been some optional ARR dungeon. Okay, overlapping mechanics in normal fights has been a thing since at least Stormblood. I also agree. I'm reminded of a philosophy from the training, like fucking Byako, Suzaku, fucking, let's focus the fuck up for 2 seconds. I'm reminded of a philosophy from the training of surgeons. See one, do one, teach one. Ooh. See one, do one, teach one. That's actually that's kind of good. See a mechanic played out once, do the mechanic yourself once, teach the mechanic to someone else once, or be prepared to. Anyway, this approach has carried me through Dawntrail just fine. Not getting a mechanic correct on the first try is fine. Party wipes are fine, but instead of just trying to power through and actually take a moment first to see. The hallmarks of a normal mode fight, that is, to say casual content, are that it's obvious how you fail to recognize the telegraph, and thus fail the mechanic. That is actually a very good point. And 2, as Super Snow said, you don't need to strategize with the rest of the party to do it correctly. Also very fucking true. And I like some of the players in this expansion. A lot less negativity on the forums. You can walk through the normal raid and die like 4 times and still win. Exactly. Wasn't Yoshipi the one saying that he was falling asleep in his dungeon runs? I don't remember that, but I remember Yoshipi specifically warning us that there's going to be a difficulty increase in this expansion. And I'm happy for this. I want more lethal mechanics. Because let's be honest, an expansion of mechanics like this that being introduced, more punishing, like, if you all mess up, you shouldn't be able to just carry yourself through healers, right? After this expansion, we're gonna have a good batch of decent raiders. Even the casual ones are gonna be able to carry their opinion a lot firmer than they did in Endwalker, let's be honest. I thought the whole point of these threads was make MSQ easier, optional content harder, side dungeons, Most of Dawntrail content is fine. People aren't used to the basics of Final Fantasy XIV, and most importantly, watching the cast bar. Besides some gimmicks, gotcha like breaking platforms, which kill you once but not twice. I didn't see anything that might be too hard for anyone who can actually pay attention to what's happening. Most of the mechanics can be done by following someone if you're having a hard time. That's still most of the fights right now. It is the first day of release as well. I don't get why people are entitled to clear content day 1. Yeah, it's like, whatever the fuck this person is complaining about, it's just like, it's so fucking irrelevant. Let's be honest, it's so fucking irrelevant. This is literally a skill issue post. Like, I know you shouldn't be like throwing this shit. Don't usually throw this shit at casual, but like, if the casuals find the casual content too hard, this is a very loud fucking minority. You are definitely in the minority for this. Because like even the casual players, like most of them that I've seen on Twitter or anything, they have talked about some of the content being more harder. But most of the casuals are actually happy that the game is taking them more seriously. And the game is actually offering them a step up from previous content to improve. Like, you may be frustrated and like Do you know what's the biggest giveaway that this is a skill issue? Like, there's a simple solution to doing content. Do it again and do it better. Do it again but better. That's it. Every time you wipe, do it again but better. The fact that you did this, like, let's say you did normal raids for 2 days, and then you decided to skip. In fact, I gotta take a skip option for this raid tier, something I haven't done since I started playing in Stormblood. You played normal raids and you decided to skip a raid tier. Like, you decided instead of just doing something a few more times and just getting better at it, you decided to skip. This is not even a skill issue. This is a bitch issue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is just, I don't know. Do it again, but better. I mean, it is a good thing. That's how prog happens. You do it again, but better. You died, you figure out why you died, and you try not to die from it again. That's like, there's not really a better and more simpler way to improve in any content. In any content. Like, I can enjoy any of the, like, let's say someone is progging something. You know what's, like, gonna be happening in Ultimate content? Same thing that's gonna be happening in Extreme or normal raids. if you wipe, the way to go forward from here is to do it again, but better. There's no secret fucking mantra to this. There's no wax off, wax on fucking philosophy here. There's no secret power of friendship. Do it again, but better. That's it.